Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me here again. Thank you very much for joining me at MV and we're talking Currie Cup as we have been doing now for the past 5 weeks. And I feel like I'm, in the twilight zone. We've all fallen into a black hole and emerged into a parallel universe where everything is just upside down. Teams that historically, usually occupy the bottom of the log for the Currie Cup season are now absolutely dominating. And it makes for interesting rugby. I mean, don't get me wrong, because it's you cannot predict what's going to happen. This weekend, the Ealing Pumas took on the Boland Cavaliers, and at the Mbobela Stadium in Nelspruit, and of course, the Cavaliers basically fighting back from an amazing 18-point deficit in the first half to secure a victory for themselves, 29-26. And it was just, it was a brutal fight from the get-go. And of course, this is the third victory for the Boland Cavaliers in this season, and the first away victory for them, basically showing that they don't need just the homegrown advantage to actually pull off a fantastic win for themselves. Can actually do it at in their away games as well. So a really strong team this time around for the Boland Cavaliers. Ross Broder scoring 2 tries within the first half with absolute dominance. That of course also being filled on by Eddie Swart, with a textbook driving maul try for himself, and then Marquian Titus, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, scored the crucial second half try as well for the Boland Cavaliers, and this is it was an actual crucial point for them, because I think they kind of came alive after that one. And then Xavier Mitchell as well, with a dazzling line break, scoring his try over there. Dayan van der Westhuizen bulldozing his try over the defenders as well at close range. And James Tedder also absolutely crucial to his team, scoring 2 conversions and 1 penalty goal. Especially after his initial yellow card, really important points being scored for his team there. The territory, especially after territory was absolutely dominated by the Pumas in the first half. For the Boland force pack to really come back with strength and brutality in the second half was just absolutely wonderful to see. I mean, these guys just bulldozed their way into that victory, constantly pounding phase after phase against the defenders, and then giving them the sort of a turnaround in dominance to this game. The penalty try also awarded to the Boland in final minutes after deliberate knockdown by Darren Adonis was just sort of the final nail in the Pumas coffin for that game. 2 yellow cards being awarded to the Boland. Kwesi Mafu and James Tedder basically, say, here you go, yellow card. I think it was just James Tedder getting his yellow card just sort of 2 minutes before Mafu had to come back, which left the Boland Cavaliers with 13 men, and that kind of cost them. That definitely cost them. That sort of ill discipline in the first half got that sort of 18-point deficit for them. But to fight back from that, I mean, that takes character. That takes absolute skill and a fantastic, just iron resolve. The halftime talk. I wish I could be a fly on the wall of that cloakroom, where Harvey's Currie was just. I must have been really letting them have it, in that cloakroom. At half time, it must have been some pep talk. I'm sure. The momentum just completely shifted in the second half. Then afterwards, and then of course, like I said, the penalty try was just the match winner. But also that penalty goal by Tedder was just absolutely crucial because that is literally the points difference at the end, which got them the victory. That's all you need. Going forward from here into round 6, the Bullet remains, at the top of the table. With the Cheetahs on 21, sort of equal with the Cheetahs at 21 points each, where the Pumas has sort of dropped at 15 points, affecting the playoff chances. So going forward from here, they're really going to have to pull up their socks to even try and make the playoffs, because this is a brutal fight between 3 of the current top teams within the Currie Cup. But the quarterfinals are coming, and I'm pretty sure the ADT Lions and the Blue Bulls, they're going to have something to say as well for that. So the Pumas are really going to have to pull up their socks if they're going to want to make any kind of headway in that regard. And coming into the Hollywood Bet Sharks against the DHL Western Province, Durban venue, again. Hollywood Bet Sharks, the Sharks 15, scoring a fantastic victory over the Western Province, really dominating for the first time in their game, on homegrown soil. So Western Province losing 21-29 with exactly 8 points, just missing that one point. The losing bonus point for themselves, playing in the Kings Park Stadium in Durban. First victory for the Sharks and this entire season. Both teams entered with a desperate fight for points after a winless start to the season, and a hard-fought victory as well for the in slippery conditions. Paul de Villiers opening the scoring with the first try for Western Province, and then that sort of shortly followed up by Ezekiel Ngubeni, and then basically Sharks took over. Didn't concede one more point after those initial points, while the Western Province getting themselves to 14 points before half-time. And then obviously Subashle for the first try after the exploiting misjudged kick by Yuri Matia for the Sharks. So that opened up the scoring for them on the scoreboard. Jaco Williams, the aerial try by him was absolutely fantastic. I mean, just seeing talent coming out now in this late stage of the Currie Cup. I don't know if that's really going to improve any chances for the Sharks to make the playoffs, but really well done for that kind of performance. Then Ali Mazibuko basically powered over most of the defenders at close range as well to score his try, and then Shekani that extended the lead with in the 62nd minute of with his try. Absolutely crucial for them, to really dominate and getting ahead of the Western Province to secure a bonus point try for them as well. And John Smith really doing his part for his team with 3 conversions and 1 penalty goal to comfortably put the Sharks ahead in that 8 points. Cagey start to the game with some really slippery conditions as well, a very humid up there. And I think there's some rain coming down there as well. Not really stormy conditions, but it is still winter down here. Western Province led, like I said, with 14 points after 24 minutes, and the Sharks scored 10 points before half time, just sort of going in the second half. So second half totally belonging to the Sharks in absolute dominant fashion. Western Province not really being able to score any kind of substantial points within the second half, and just Sharks exploiting their kicking areas. And then you gotta get to a point where you realize that you've got to retain possession. And it is crucial, obviously, and very good tactics to always try to exploit the open areas, behind your opponent's defensive lines. But if you realize that your opponents are generally exploiting the high balls, the grubbers, the desperate, vying for territory, whenever you start kicking, the ball away and you start kicking possession away, then maybe it might be a better, choice to just keep retaining possession. Making it difficult for them, be quicker at the breakdowns to keep retaining possession as you're going from phase to phase. So for the Western Province to constantly try and kick possession away, obviously, not on purpose, going for a cross kick like Yuri Matia, and then having that the inability for Western Province to retrieve possession of the ball off the cross kick or the little grubbers, that it really stands those Sharks in good stead, and it showed on the scoreboard, obviously. Strong forward performance by the Sharks in the second half again, so we're going back to our roots of really front row heavy attacks. That's paying off dividends for every team basically employing it. The Western Province obviously trying to employ a more backline heavy attack formation, trying to get those balls over with strong carries and hopeful line breaks to try and get some measure of points on the board. And it did work, at least for a while within the first half, for 24 minutes. But that was unfortunately not the way it ended off. The front row, a heavy attack, basically won the day. Western Province showed real fighting spirit, but couldn't sustain the pressure, unfortunately, onto the Sharks. And at the end of the day, that scoreboard is all that matters. Now, going into round 6, the Sharks moved to 6 points off the bottom of the log. So they are now comfortably sort of second from the bottom, with the Western Province basically trailing there. And I'll talk more about the log standings a bit later. But moving on now to the Toyota Cheetahs facing off against the ADT Lions. And at the Toyota Stadium at Bloemfontein, the Cheetahs yet again gave us the performance of a lifetime on the homegrown advantage. A commanding victory, propelling the Cheetahs to the top of the table. I mean, these guys were just absolutely dominant in this game. A high-scoring encounter with the concentrating halves for both teams. I mean, every single one of them, put all their efforts in. It was blood, sweat, and tears in this game, and it really, made for some fantastic, entertaining rugby. The Cheetahs led 26-5 at halftime before withstanding the Lions' comeback in the second half. A really dominant try, I have to admit, by the Lions, but unfortunately the Cheetahs' defense was just up to the task. Marco Jansen van Rensburg made an early brace for the line-out mauls, and then basically got his try through. Prince Nkabinde, sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly, finished brilliantly with a pass from Franco Smith. And then Clayton Blommetjies as well, doing his part with a bonus point try, and converting his own try as well, with doing very well in his goal conversions for the Cheetahs. Cohen Jasper also making 2 conversions himself, and then Michael Anis from the Cheetahs also with a sharp line run, getting his try in there. Yandre Nel, sorry, also a ceiling try. I mean, it was just absolutely fantastic. I mean, this game was on the edge of the seats, on the edge of your seat stuff, really. Gianni Lombard doing a very good First try for the ADT Lions, unfortunately suffering a yellow card later on with a cynical challenge. And then Morne Brandon, also second half try, doing really well. The Gianni Lombard, of course, getting a yellow card and a penalty try for him, for his efforts as well. It really didn't do the ADT Lions any kind of favors. Angela Davids, Nickerstein and Reinhard Jonker scoring their blitz tries as well, and which just in themselves with absolutely fantastic rugby. I mean, really, I could, if you guys can get hold of this game somewhere on SuperSport, really watch it. It was an absolute pleasure to watch this game. Francois Stein's boys being very dominant, within the second half. The Cheetahs dominating the first 10 minutes of the game as well, with relentless pressure. The Lions staged a remarkable comeback in the second half, scoring 3 tries, just not enough to seal the deal for themselves, but coming very close with a 31-33 victory to the Cheetahs, as the Cheetahs pulled away just sort of in the last couple of minutes in the second half with that penalty try, just completely sealing the deal right on the 80th minute. A penalty try for the cynical challenge. Absolute good call by the ref. It was just unfortunate, but these things happen, within the heat of the moment. If the pressure's on, you are making a desperate stance to try and keep the opponents away from your try line, and then this happens, and nothing you can do about it. It happens in the heat of the moment. Moving forward, the match consideration from here, the strong case for Marco Jansen van Rensburg with an early brace try, and then Clayton Bolombiki's just completely sealing the deal. It was just, I can't really say anything more about it. It was just the absolute beauty to watch this game. And I can really recommend a rewatch if you have watched the game as well. It was beautiful. Absolutely. Well done to Frans Steyn and Victor Sisikete for their boys' performance there. Now, match 4, Budokan Bulls to the Suzuki Griquas, and again, Grizzly Park in Pretoria, on the homegrown soil for the Budokan Bulls, and the Suzuki Griquas just totally showed us why they are the favorites in this Currie Cup to try and win it, and they're making a very good play of it. 42-21 victory to the Suzuki Griquas, and they completely just outplayed the Bulls this time around, with a dominant away victory, 4th consecutive win for the Griquas this campaign, and the Bulls suffer their 3rd consecutive loss. You can see why I'm feeling like I'm in the twilight zone here. I don't know really how to describe this. Gershwin Weir doing absolutely brilliantly well with a hat-trick in this game, making the man of the match, and well deserved for. George Whitehead, perfect 6 from 6 conversions, crucial assists, just absolutely doing his part for his team as well, just with that fantastic finishing it off, for him. And Sebo Dlamini, excuse me, 3rd try in the try for halftime advantage, just completely sealed the deal. It just shows the dominance of the Griquas in this game. Janko Uys also doing his part, broke from a maul, and 5th, for the 5th try. Zane Bester, 6th try while in control of the ball. Timo had to take a double take over there, but got it in. Stravino Jacobs, excuse me, opening try after breaking the line was just also, wonderful play for him, and basically opening the scoreboard for for the Bulls as well. Within the first half, Junior Pokomela, Katlego Letebele also doing with late consolation tries for the Bulls. really doing their team proud, but unfortunately too little too late. Griquas scored 14 points in 9 minutes of the first half, so really starting off extremely dominant and strong. Led 21-7 in half time and extended that lead to 35-7 in the second half very early on. The Bulls managed a late respectability with 2 tries, but too little too late, as I said. So the clinical finishing from the Griquas throughout, the Weir's hat-trick just, was the cherry on top of this game. I mean, he did fantastically well. I think this kid deserves a medal. Playing absolutely strong and dominant rugby. I mean, this is why we love this game. We love to see these sort of, beautiful up-and-coming talent doing everything in their power just to kind of give us such beautiful entertainment of rugby. The Bulls struggled in the defensive categories for themselves. Not really solid structures for them, and Namaklama Cernbin just didn't help them at all as well. His yellow card. So again, Gershon Weir's hat-trick performance. Well done to him. Absolutely congratulations to the young man. He totally deserved that man of the match. Really strong performance. Now, coming up, round 6, Friday on the 29th of August, we will have the Toyota Cheetahs going on against the Suzuki Griquas, the number 1 and 2 on the logs, basically taking each other on. That'll be at 5 o'clock within Bloemfontein. Close contest. It's going to be between the first and the third place team. Sorry, I said first and second. It's first and third. But the Suzuki Griquas, I think, is going to be my favorite in this one. They have been doing really well and really dominant within the scrums and their forward packs. So I'm really thinking, it's going to be a close game. Will the Cheetahs have a fourth, will it be a 4th match winning streak? Well, it remains to be seen. We'll have to see. It could be determined within the, it could determine the playoff positions for these two teams, but it's really going to be close, I think. August the 30th, Saturday, ADT Lions taking on the Vodacom Bulls. That's going to be 3 o'clock at Ellis Park. That's going to be a crucial Yuxkay River Derby. Honestly, both teams are very strong in their opposition towards each other. It's sad to see these historical dominant teams now not really doing that well within the Currie Cup this far. But Lions, I think, do have a really strong advantage over the Bulls for this one, in the way that they've been, they performed this past weekend. I think they've got a really strong chance of actually dominating this game, and it could be decisive for them as well. Hollywood Bet Sharks taking on the Salem Boland Cavaliers. 10 minutes past 5 in Pietermaritzburg, so it's going to be a homegrown advantage for the Sharks, and it'll be interesting to see if they can maintain that sort of momentum coming off a victory from the Western Province now. If that maybe puts some morale back into the team, that'll be interesting to see as well. But I mean, they're going on against a very strong opponent that's been dominating their 3 victories in this Currie Cup. Boland, is my favorite to win. Yes, it's going to be a tough test, especially for the Sharks. They're going to really need to pull up their socks and everything. So, definite one. I think my favorite is going to be for the Cavaliers to win. I think probably with a 15-point margin. If the Sharks are lucky. Sunday, 31st of August, DHL Western Province taking on the Ealing Pumas at 3 o'clock at the DHL Stadium. And Western Province, please tell me this is going to be your time. Your weekend for a win. Your first win in the Currie Cup. I don't think you have a chance for the playoffs anymore. But this is going to be your chance to try and improve your standing on the log as well, depending all what into what's going to happen between the Sharks 15 and the Cavaliers. So Western Province really they're going to be seeking a win in this one around. Pumas is going to look to bounce back from their loss against the Cavaliers from last weekend. So yeah, current standings after round 5: Toyota Cheetahs at 21 points, dominating the log there. Sunderland Bull and Cavaliers trailing in at second, with the Suzuki Griquas on 20 points in third place. The Sunderland, the Cavaliers and Cheetahs equal on 21 points there. Fidelity ADT Lions coming in at 20 points, equal to the Griquas. Griquas just making it that much better for themselves, slotting in a third spot. Ealing Pullman's now dominating the fifth rank on the log at 15 points. The Vodacom Bulls at 10 points. Shortly after that, in 6th position. And then the 7th and 8th position coming up with the Sharks and the Western Province, respectively there. Bull Cavaliers' remarkable season continues to, after their promotion on the log. The coach Currie halftime pep talk, I think, really did them wonders there, and they're probably going to be looking to carry that through now, going into round 6. Bulls' struggle continues with a 3rd consecutive loss. Is it going to be 4? We'll have to see. ADT Lions is going to be pumped for this game. And then obviously Western Province still, searching for a breakthrough win. And I'm really hoping it's going to come on their home ground, soil at the DHL Stadium this weekend coming. All matches obviously going to be broadcasted live at Supersport, but I'm going to try and put the link in the description for ticket sales, for anybody that wants to go and actually see it live. Please support our teams on the local soil, for the Currie Cup Championship. Referee and coaches performance, obviously Francois Steyn, Harvey's Fury. Well done, congratulations, you guys have gone from strength to strength, and really well done for your teams. Francois Steyn, especially for you, seeing that this is the first time you've coached ever in your career, really coming into a dominant start off for your career here with the Toyota Cheetahs. Really making a name for yourself. You made it your name as one of the youngest Springbok players to dominate in the game, and then also now a first-time coach to really achieve this kind of success. Well done, congratulations there. Yellow card decisions proved crucial in multiple games, so yeah, I cannot really fault any kind of but although there has been a few missed calls by the coaches the referees in these games, but overall a good performance by them. Really fair down the middle calls. The yellow card decisions absolutely crucial. And then the penalty tries as well by Boland and Pumas. The match officials highlighted the high scoring encounters as well. So yeah, that concludes the Currie Cup Championship. Coming now to the South African versus Australia round 2, and vengeance is ours. 30-22 victory to the Springboks with a total turnaround score at the DHL Stadium last Saturday in Cape Town. And yeah, not to put the Wallabies down, they really played a very strong game. They have probably the fastest backline that I've seen thus far this year. And really well done to them. They just lost some key players right at the beginning of the first half, with Tim Wright going off with the victory, and he's one of the really crucial key players. Also, James Conner not really doing that well in his his goal conversions, missing 3 crucial penalty goals right at the end of the game. And then also, but making some good carries. I think he's made about 9 carries for the entire game, along with Cheslin Colby, sort of equaling there. But we're seeing a really dominant forward game by the Springboks again, going back to their DNA, as they called it. Not also, completely abandoning Tony Brown's sort of backline attacks, strategies. Apelele Fassi doing very well as well with a fantastic line break, two fantastic line breaks by him. Just unfortunately, the cynical yellow card for the deliberate knockdown in the sort of closing minutes of the game. But, unfortunate for him, but really good game for him nonetheless. Tries was very equal to both sides, scoring 3 tries each. So it really came down to Handré Pollard's boot that put the Springboks into the victory slot as well. With 3 out of 3 conversions, the Wallabies only making 2 conversions, missing 3 penalty goals, as I said. And then Wallabies dominating within the carries, but not really converting any of that into points, unfortunately. Also dominating within the line breaks. The turnovers I think was a lot more than the Springboks, but yet again not turning that over into actual points on the scoreboard. The Springboks winning 4 turnovers to the Wallabies 3, dominating the game with about 50% territory to the Wallabies 49%. So it was very much kind of almost balanced game between the two teams. It's just, again, coming back down to Handré Pollard doing very well, especially with that little cross kick to Kanan Moody in the first half, giving us a crucial advantage over the Wallabies there. Ibn Etzebet also making some really good progress with his little short distance try there on the dominant forward pack push by the Springboks on the Australian try line. Oxenchair doing very well with his turnover 1, as also Thomas the Toy. Very young player making absolute strides in his career as well. Ergie Snyman dominating in his tackles as well as Cheslin Colby, as short as he is, doing very well with him. The set plays very much equal, as both teams won all their scrums, 7 out of 7 for each one. The Wallabies dominating a bit more in the lineouts, winning 14 lineouts to 9. The set plays definitely very much equal. The attacks, Wallabies was dominant in the attacks, making about 240 meters, with 146 passes as well, 100 over 95 ball carries, but again, couldn't convert it to points, which just tells you everything you need to know about the South African defenses. Completely dominant in the defense. 125 tackles made, only 30 tackles missed. Okay, still more than the 15 tackles missed by the Wallabies, but still dominating in that. It was just a solid defense. The Wallabies just couldn't get through, as evident by the scoreboard. So yeah, Wallabies got to go back, but with a absolutely fantastic performance by them. I think they can really be proud of themselves, and Joe Schmidt can be really proud of his boys. That I just have to mention that amazing tackle by Kwagga Smith that ended up putting Nick White out of commission. Also didn't help the Wallabies that much, but I think that it was the loss of Tim Wright that really sealed the deal there. He's a fantastic player, dominant in everything he does. He's fast, he's accurate, his ball handling is impeccable. And he was like kind of the thorn in the side of the Springboks in the first round. So well done to Wallabies. Hard luck for the loss at the DHL Stadium, but I'm seeing a really remarkable improvement in their game. Ever since 2 years ago, last year and the year before, they've really been falling on hard luck, not really making any impactful games for themselves. And this time around, their performance has improved 20-fold, if not more. So well done to the Australians. It'll be interesting to see what you guys can do in 2027 World Cup. I'm holding thumbs for you guys. But yeah, congratulations to a very dominant victory for South Africa. Moving forward now, going into the Argentinian game against the All Blacks. And I do not have an answer here, as I'm pretty sure Razor didn't have either. 29-23 victory to Los Pumas on their homegrown field. Dominating in the try and the penalty goals. Not so much in the tries. The New Zealanders scoring 3 tries to 2. But definitely the penalty goals is where the points were at. And this time, the Los Pumas boot was spot on. Absolutely. Conversions are definitely 2 out of 1 conversions for the Los Pumas as well. So like I said, the kicking game is where it was at. 150 carries made by Los Pumas to the 83 of the All Blacks. So very much dominating over there as well, dominating in the line breaks, making 7 line breaks to the All Blacks 1. So I don't exactly know what happened to the All Black defense in this game, but yeah, not the performance that I'm sure they were looking for. Also, the yellow cards against Tupuvai and Will Jordan didn't help at all. They did make a slight improvement as soon as Damien McKenzie came in. It wasn't Beauden Barrett's best performance ever that I've seen. Damien McKenzie coming in just unable to kind of save the day for the All Blacks there. Set plays was again really much not that. Yeah, it was pretty much balanced with 100% scrum wins on both sides. It's just the Los Pumas won 5 scrums to the All Blacks 4. So, but still, very equally matched in the scrum category. Lineouts, the All Blacks did dominate over the Pumas there, making 14 lineouts to their 8. So the set plays very much kind of equal there. Attacks, and this was where it at for the Los Pumas. 174 passes made to 122 for the All Blacks. Ball carries 150 to 83. So definitely very much dominant on the Argentinian side. 392 meters made. And then 7 line breaks that really kind of that set the tone. The pressure was on the All Black side the whole time. They just couldn't wrestle pressure back or wrestle dominance or pressure back from the Los Pumas at any time of the game, and that kind of just that set the tone for the entire game. Now coming back to the international standings as it is at the moment. So New Zealand is at number 1. Australia is now basically at number 2 on the log in this international championship, with South Africa at coming in 3rd place. Argentina trailing at the bottom of the log with 4 points in total for this international game. So it'll be interesting to see how we go forward from here. At the international log, New Zealand is number 1. South Africa is now fought themselves back up into 2nd place. Ireland trailing at 3rd place with France in 4th, England in 5th, Australia in 6th position, Argentina is in 7th, Scotland 8th, Fiji 9th, and then Italy coming into the 10th slot. And this is the standings as it is for the moment. That could change as the international sort of rugby tournaments progress throughout the year, and obviously these standings, as I said before, they influence the pool games going into the 2027 World Cup. So South Africa will really need to, knuckle down and get some more victories under the belt here. We need that number one slot. We really do, if we want to get a very favorable position within the pool games for the 2027 World Cup, because that's going to basically set the kind of a tone for the rest of the World Cup, and hopefully, solidify our dominance as well, and hopefully for another 2027 World Cup victory. Wouldn't that be a sight? Three World Cups back to back. We will be the first team ever to make 3 World Cup victories back to back. A position that will forever be ours in the history books. Something to strive for, something to be very proud of if we achieve it. But that's it for me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. A very cold Cape Town as usual. But let me know your thoughts. Give me a like and subscribe, if you haven't done so. And please give me your thoughts on what the games was like for you. Any ideas, any opinions, I always welcome that. Again, any kind of opinions that you might have to giving me a better idea of how I can improve, my channel and everything on here. I'd really like to hear from you guys and hear of yourselves and your loved ones. I'd love to see you next week as I do, my usual breakdown of the matches from the previous weekend. And with that, I bid you all a very good evening. Peace out.
Staying with options. Renzo du Plessis is there. Quickest ball is no ruck ball. Out into the wider channels. Ras. And now Lombard will go in. Prince Kabinde does well to hang on. And around the corner, Mornay Brandon. That's rhythm. That's...
No, you comes in there.
Rensburg sets it up nicely. Gideon van der Merwe with a lovely backdoor pass to Michael. Kane playing with good rhythm, like how they started the second half. Ball and all, Renzo du Plessis, St. Francis slipping through tackles, releases Angelo Davids. And you know what? It's starting to feel like we've got a game on our hands here.